The galaxy was busy. Trade ships moved between stars. War fleets patrolled their borders. Miners drilled into dead moons. Life went on, as it always had, until the signal came. It happened in a single moment. Every ship in deep space stopped. Engines froze. Weapons shut down. Even navigation screens went dark. At first, many thought it was a system failure. But then they heard it, a single sharp sound, a tone that pierced every comm channel. It was not loud, but it carried power. Felt like it went straight into the bones. In the galactic capital, the council chambers fell silent. Ambassadors, generals, and scientists stared at the frozen star map. One elder leaned forward. "This is not a malfunction," she whispered. "This is a signal." It came again. The same tone, and again. Every 30 seconds, like a heartbeat. Each time it pulsed, whole sectors lost power for a few seconds. In the markets of Talvera, merchant ships drifted helplessly. In the cold, asteroid mines of Ulter, drills stopped mid-bite. In the war zone of the Kryn border, battles froze mid-fire. No one could fight, move, or hide. The source of the signal was traced to a quiet, unimportant corner of the Orion Arm. A blue-green world. An old world. Forgotten world. Its name appeared on ancient charts, Earth. For most aliens, humans were a story from history books. They were the species that had risen fast, fought hard, and then vanished almost 1,000 years ago, some said. They had destroyed themselves in a war. Others believed they had fled the galaxy. No one agreed. But everyone agreed on one thing. Humans were gone. Now their world was awake, and it was speaking to the entire galaxy at once. In the observation deck of a deep space patrol ship, a young officer named Riel watched the frozen stars outside. The crew whispered to each other, their voices tight with fear. What does it mean? Is it a warning, or is it an attack? Riel had been monitoring communications when he noticed something strange. The signal was not just a sound. Inside it were layers of data, encrypted, old, very old. The kind of encryption only humans had used during the Old War. He ran a quick comparison through the archives. The pattern matched almost perfectly a human distress beacon. But this was different. This was stronger. This was everywhere. The captain of Rail's ship contacted the Galactic Council. The reply came fast. All ships remain in position. Do not approach the source. Wait for orders. But waiting was not easy. The galaxy was not a patient place. Civilian ships tried to leave the affected zones only to find their engines still dead. Some military fleets attempted to move toward Earth and vanished from sensors the moment they entered human claimed space. There was no wreckage, no signals, nothing. In the council chambers, tension grew. Some demanded immediate retaliation. Others warned that this was not a fight they understood. The oldest members spoke in hushed voices about the old war, a conflict so ancient and so terrible that most records of it were erased. They said humanity had fought a great empire, and in the end, simply disappeared. Now, many wondered if they had truly disappeared at all. RHEL kept scanning the signal. The deeper he looked, the more he found. It was like peeling layers from an ancient machine. Every layer held another code, another message. Some were coordinates, some were symbols. One was a voice. He isolated it, cleaned the static, and played it through the ship's speakers. It was calm. It was human. It spoke only one sentence. You should not have come this far. The bridge went silent. No one moved. No one spoke. The captain ordered the voice file sent to the council immediately. But before the message left their system, the signal pulsed again, harder this time. Lights on the ship flickered. The metal under their feet vibrated. And for a moment, Rel swore he felt something watching them. In distant systems, entire cities lost power for a full minute. Massive warships found their shields and weapons locked offline. Space stations rotated. Slowly, powerless. The galaxy had seen wars. It had seen invasions. But it had never seen this. A single signal that could freeze everything, everywhere, all at once. By the end of the first day, fear had spread faster than light. Merchants refused to travel. Fleets refused to patrol. Planets went into lockdown. Everyone waited for the next pulse. And far away, on that blue-green world, the oceans moved in silence. The continent slept under heavy clouds. No light shone on its surface. It looked dead. But the signal kept coming, steady, endless, like a heart that had been sleeping for centuries and was now waking up. The signal did not stop. It came again and again, every 30 seconds. And every time it pulsed, the galaxy seemed to hold its breath in the Galactic Council's war room. The star map was covered in red marks, places where the signal had shut down entire systems. Energy grids failed, engines stopped. Shields went offline. It was the same everywhere. Council members argued loudly. "This is an act of war," one general shouted. "No," another replied. "This is a warning." The oldest among them stayed quiet, their faces pale. They remembered stories they were never meant to tell, stories of the old war, and of the humans who fought it. The signal's effect was terrifyingly precise. It never damaged ships or buildings. It never harmed life support. It only froze technology, and then released it, like a hand showing that it could crush, but choosing not to. On civilian worlds, panic spread fast. People rushed to markets hoarding food and water. Ships stayed in dock. No one wanted to travel, not when a single unknown signal could stop them. In deep space, in the great city of Halvorn, huge screens played news about the human signal. Some called it the start of an invasion. Others believed it was a test. 8. Religious groups claimed the humans had become gods. On the military frontiers, commanders faced a new nightmare. Scout fleets sent toward Earth simply vanished. Not destroyed, just gone. Their signals went silent the moment they crossed a certain invisible border in space. No wreckage, no distress calls, nothing to bring home. One commander sent a drone. Instead of a manned ship, the drone's cameras showed empty black space for 20 seconds, then static. When the feed cleared, the drone was drifting far outside the galaxy, in a region no one had mapped. Its power core was dead. Its systems were locked by a code no alien could break. It was a message, and the message was clear. Stay away. On Rawl's patrol ship, the crew grew restless. They had not moved in 2 days. The captain followed council orders to stay in position, but fear was building. Every time the signal pulsed, the lights dimmed and the metal bulkheads trembled. RHEL kept studying the signal. He knew it was dangerous, but he could not stop. There was something hidden in the pulse patterns. Not just one message, but several. Late on the second night, he made a discovery. Some of the codes were numbers. Star coordinates. They pointed to places across the galaxy, abandoned stations, dead worlds, forgotten battlefields. To the old records of human activity, he told the captain. But the captain only shook his head. If these coordinates are real, he said quietly, then the humans planned this long ago. In the council chambers, a vote was taken. Some wanted to attack at once. Others demanded they wait and learn more. The vote ended in chaos. The humans had not fired a single shot, yet they already controlled the pace of the entire galaxy. Council's head scientist, an old Varian named Keldor, spoke for the first time in hours. "This is not just technology," he said. "This is strategy. They want us to fear them before we even see them." It was working. By the third day, rumors filled every starport. Some said human fleets were already moving, invisible too. Sensors. Some claimed the humans could erase entire planets with a thought. Others believed humans had made alliances with unknown species beyond the galaxy, but no one knew for sure. The only truth anyone had was the signal. That steady, calm, unstoppable heartbeat in a dark chamber deep below the council building. Keldor studied the signal alone. His eyes widened as he decoded another hidden layer. This time it was not numbers. It was a voice. It spoke slowly, in perfect galactic standard. "You are not ready. Stand down. Do not approach." Keldor's scales turned cold. The humans were not threatening to attack. They were telling the galaxy to stop. But he also noticed something else. The signal was changing slightly. Its power was growing. Rouse. Ship received new orders. A select few were chosen for a dangerous mission. Find the source of the signal, find Earth, and, if possible, shut it down. The crew prepared in silence. No one wanted to go, but no one dared refuse. They would have to cross into human-claimed space, the place from which no ship had returned. As they powered up, the signal pulsed again, shaking the hull. This time, Rel felt a strange chill, not from fear, but from something else. It was as if far away, someone was watching him. Across the galaxy, people waited. The streets were quiet, space lanes were empty, and in the sky above every world, the signal kept echoing, steady, endless, unstoppable, like the humans were counting down to something. And the galaxy didn't know what would happen when they reached zero. On the third day, the signal changed. For hours, it had been the same steady pulse, but now it carried something new. A voice. It was calm. It was clear. It spoke in perfect galactic standard. Do not come closer. This is your only warning. Every starship in range received it. Every planet heard it through their comm networks. Every outpost, every relay, every satellite, the same words, repeated every 30 seconds. In the Galactic Council chambers, the message played on a loop. Some members refused to believe it was real. Someone is imitating the humans, one ambassador argued. It's a trick to scare us, but the voice was unmistakably human. Older members of the council knew it instantly. It carried the same tone recorded during the old war. The council voted again. This time, the decision was split. Half wanted to obey and keep their fleets away from human space. Half wanted to push forward to prove the humans were bluffing. In the end, the council chose not to act. But not everyone followed that choice. On the far edges of the Orion Arm, 3 warships from the Kryn Empire ignored the warning. They crossed into human-claimed space. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, all 3 ships vanished from every sensor. No explosion, no wreckage, no escape pods. To those watching, it was as if the ships had never existed. When word of this reached the council, panic spread faster than ever. If the humans could erase ships without firing a shot, what else could they do? Meanwhile, Raoul's patrol ship was already on its way to the source of the signal. The crew was tense. They spoke little, each lost in their own fear. Human space was empty. No patrols. No stations. No signals except for the one that froze the galaxy. The further they went, the darker space seemed to become. Stars grew dim, as if the light itself didn't want to enter human territory. Then, as they saw it, a dead star collapsed into a black, lightless sphere. Orbiting it were massive rings of metal, larger than any alien station. The rings pulsed, faintly with energy, matching the timing of the signal. The captain stared at the view and whispered, "They've been building here for centuries." Rel began scanning the rings. Each one was covered in strange shapes, not writing, not markings, but designs that shifted and moved when you looked at them too long. The readings were impossible. The energy levels were beyond anything in the council's database. The signal pulsed again. But this time the voice didn't speak to everyone in the galaxy. It spoke only to them. Turn back. You have reached the line. The captain hesitated. They had orders to investigate, but the message carried a weight that made everyone's hands freeze above their controls. Before the captain could respond, the view outside changed. Something emerged from the shadows between the rings. It was a ship, if you could call it. It was larger than any known dreadnought. Its hull was black, drinking in all light. No engines were visible, yet it moved smoothly through space. On its side, in old Terran script, was a single word: Aegis. Every system on Raul's ship failed instantly. Engines, weapons, shields, even life support monitors, all dark. Only the lights on the bridge remained, casting pale shadows over terrified faces. A new voice came over the speakers. Not a broadcast, a direct message. You were warned. This Is the last time, Rel's captain tried to respond, but the comms only played static. The crew watched as the Aegis slowly turned toward them. They could feel it, not just its presence, but something deeper. It was as if the ship itself was looking into them. Suddenly, every screen lit up with images, flashes of history. Cities burning, fleets destroyed, worlds falling silent. The old war. The last time the galaxy had fought the humans. Then the images changed. They showed planets untouched, fleets standing down, peace lasting for centuries. A voice spoke again. We prefer this ending. Choose wisely. And just like that, their systems came back online. The Aegis turned away, drifting back toward the rings. The signal continued its steady pulse. But the voice was gone. As they retreated from human space, Ryle knew one thing. This was not the end. The humans were awake now. And they had given the galaxy one last chance to decide its future. For 3 days, the signal had pulsed. For 1 day, the voice had spoken its warning. Now it changed again. Across the galaxy, the heartbeat stopped. Silence filled the stars. Every world, every ship, every station. No one knew if the humans had ended their message, or if something worse was coming. In the Galactic Council chambers, fear was thick in the air. Some members prayed the silence meant it was over. Others feared it was the moment before a storm. Then the silence broke. It was not a tone this time. It was not a voice. It was movement. On every major planet, on the edges of every star system, ships appeared. Not from hyperspace, not from wormholes. They simply were there. Black, silent, and vast. They bore no flags, no markings, nothing. But a single word painted in old Terran script: Aegis. Sensors could not read their weapons. Scans failed before they even began. To most, they looked like moving shadows, swallowing starlight wherever they passed. On Rawl's patrol ship, alarms screamed. They had just re-entered Council space when the nearest star system lit up with warnings. A human ship, larger than anything Ryle had seen, was in orbit above the capital world of the Zarn Dominion. But it wasn't attacking. It was just watching. The same thing happened in dozens of other systems. Every human ship stayed in perfect silence, as if waiting for someone to speak first. The Council sent out a galaxy-wide hail. This is the Galactic Council. Identify yourselves and your intentions. The reply came at once. Every human ship spoke in perfect unison, the same calm voice as before. The galaxy is sick. We are the cure. The words sent shivers down spines across 100 species. This was not a demand for surrender. It was something colder, a statement of control. On the dark side of the dead star, where Ryle had seen the rings, the Aegis still waited. Ryle's captain received a private transmission. It was from the humans. The image appeared on the main screen. For the first time in 8 centuries, the galaxy saw them. Humans. They looked almost the same as in the old records. Tall, steady-eyed, with faces that gave nothing away. But their presence was different. It was heavy, like the weight of a storm before it breaks. The human commander leaned forward. You crossed our border. You saw what we built. You know we could end you. He paused. But that is not why. We have returned. Rail found his voice. Then why? The commander's gaze locked on him. To finish what we started. He explained, without details, without maps, that the humans had never left. They had been watching the galaxy from the shadows, hidden behind technology no alien could detect. The signal had been a test. The appearance of the ships was the result. Now the commander said, "You will choose. We can unite the galaxy, or we can bring it to silence." Back in the council chambers, leaders from hundreds of worlds argued. Some wanted to submit at once, believing resistance was hopeless. Others wanted to fight, even knowing it might mean destruction. But fighting wasn't easy when your enemy could appear anywhere, anytime. Reports came in from mining colonies, research stations, and trade routes. Human ships hovered silently in orbit, then vanished without warning. They didn't fire. They didn't speak. They only showed they could be anywhere. On Ral's ship, the human commander gave his final words. You have 7 days. In that time we will speak to every world. At the end, we will know your choice. The transmission ended. The Aegis turned away and vanished, leaving no trace it had ever been there. In the following hours, the galaxy was no longer the same. Everywhere people looked at the sky and wondered if a human ship was watching them. Markets closed. 8. Stayed docked. Entire planets held their breath. The humans had not attacked, but they had shown something more powerful than war. They had shown that they didn't need to fight to win. Ral stood at the viewing deck, watching the silent stars. He thought about the voice, the ships, the rings around the dead star. If the humans had built all of this in secret for centuries, what else had they built? He had a feeling they were only showing a fraction of what they could do. And somewhere, deep inside, he feared the truth. If the galaxy chose wrong, the humans would not give another warning. 7 days. That was the time the humans had given. Across the galaxy, those 7 days passed in silence and fear. Human ships floated above worlds like silent watchers. No attacks. No demands. Only the quiet weight of their presence. On the final day, the Galactic Council met for the last time before the deadline. The Great Chamber was full, every seat taken. Some leaders wanted to unite under the humans, believing it was the only way to survive. Others called the humans arrogant invaders. No decision was made. The council was still arguing when the skies above every major planet began to darken at first. People thought it was a storm, and they saw them hundreds of black shapes sliding. Out of the void, human warships. They appeared in perfect silence, each one taking position over a city, a station, or a fleet. No weapons fired, but every alien ship in range reported the same thing. Their systems were locked. They could not move. They could not fight. In the galactic capital, a massive human vessel descended until it hovered directly above the council. Building its hull stretched for kilometers, its shadow covering the entire city. The coms opened. The same calm human voice filled the chamber. The time is over. Now you choose. The message was broadcast across the galaxy. Every citizen, every soldier, every leader heard it. On Ral's patrol ship, the crew watched in silence as the Aegis emerged from the void once more. The human commander appeared on their screen. You have seen our reach, he said. You have seen our restraint? We do not seek your destruction, unless you force it. Ral stepped forward. What if we say no? The commander's eyes hardened. Then you will live in darkness. As if on cue, entire star systems began to go dark. Lights on planets faded. Space stations shut down. Ships hung dead in orbit. The blackout lasted only seconds before power returned. But the message was clear. The humans could end all technology in the galaxy with a thought. Back in the council chambers, voices rose in panic. The oldest council, Member Keldor, stood and spoke over the noise. We have fought wars for centuries, but this is not war. This is the end of war. If we do not join them, there will be nothing left. The chamber fell silent. One by one, worlds began to send their answer. Yes, yes, yes. Not all agreed. A few refused. Their signals went dead within moments. No one heard from them again. When the last response was sent, the human commander spoke again. The galaxy will be one. There will be no empires, no borders. You will trade freely, live freely, and protect each other. We will watch, and if you return to your old ways, we will return. Then, just as suddenly as they had appeared, the human ships began to vanish. One by one, they slipped back into the void, leaving only empty space behind. On Rel's ship, the crew sat in silence. The Aegis was gone, but its presence still seemed to fill the air. Ral knew the humans had not left completely. They were still watching. They would always be watching. Days later, the galaxy began to change. Borders opened. Trade flowed freely. Old rivalries faded, but beneath the peace was a quiet truth. It existed only because the humans allowed it. In quiet conversations, People still whispered about the signal. Some feared it would return. Others hoped it would. And on one forgotten, blue-green world, far from the busy star lanes, the oceans moved under heavy clouds. Beneath them, hidden deep in the shadows, the human fleet waited. The signal was silent now, but it could speak again, any time, because humanity had not just returned. Humanity now owned the silence between the stars.